Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're spending 3 days in the Roaring Plains Wilderness in West Virginia. Roaring Plains is one of the least known wilderness areas in the eastern U.S. with some of the best views in West Virginia. Hope you guys enjoy. We actually start this trip walking through private property that is like a shared trail. So the landowners let you hike this trail through their property. But we're down here at 2,400 feet and we're going up there about 4,600 feet. And most of that happens in about the first 2 miles. So I think it's the single largest climb in the state of West Virginia. All right, everybody, we are slowly ascending. Pretty good grade so far, but we are officially in the Roaring Plains West Wilderness in the Monongahela National Forest. Again, guys, so you have state parks, you have national parks, you have state forests, national forests. This is a federal wilderness area. So there are, from this point forward, to my knowledge, no blazes, no trail markers, no signs of any kind. So, if you're gonna head out here, make sure you kind of have an idea what you're doing, preferably a GPS. Lots of stinging nettle all the way up to the top of this hill here. All three of us wore shorts. I knew it'd be a risk, but it's friggin' 80 degrees, the next 3 days. Completely sunny, no rain in the forecast, so gonna be beautiful. Once we get out of the woods here and up on the plateau, it's gonna be worth it to wear the shorts, but for right now, I guess my legs will just sting and itch. All right, everybody, here's where the trip gets interesting. We have finally reached the plateau up here in the Roaring Plains, about 4,400 feet right now. We're gonna go up a little bit more and we're gonna be camping on top of the highest point of elevation out here. Well, it is wilderness, all right. We've been walking along this old railroad grade, so this area out here was, they used it for timber back in the, I think, late 1800s, early 1900s, something like that. And used to be a railroad out here, and it's crazy how quick, time takes over. Because, it is wild out here. We're almost 9 miles in, and haven't seen a single other, person anywhere on the trail system. Well, Sarah, say good morning to everybody on YouTube. So, So for those of you who've been watching the channel for a little while, you'll know that typically there would be a nice little camp tour when we get into camp for the night. We'd probably talk about our gear a little bit, maybe talk about some food a little bit, talk about how the trip has been a little bit. Mistakes were made. So as you could tell, we got into camp like after dark last night. Just set up our stuff. I mean, me and Brian didn't even put our tarps up for our hammocks. Long story short, you know, we ended up going about 2 miles further than what the GPS said. And, you know, we climbed up the side of a hill. I mean, it's literally like a 400-foot like elevation gain, and there's not a trail. I mean, we were like kind of like, it's almost climbing a ladder. That is not a trail. That is like a game trail at best. It took us forever to get up here. It was dark. So we didn't have time to record anything last night. I mean, we just put our stuff up, grabbed some food, and went to sleep. Scale 1 to 10, how was morale last night coming into camp?
Like a 0.5.
Yeah, morale was a 0.5 out of 10 last night. So I apologize for the lack of footage and everything yesterday, but today's going to be a lot better of a day. We found a trail over here that apparently is the way you're supposed to come up here, not down over the side of the mountain like we did. But I didn't know that because it's not on any of the GPS apps. Like, that trail doesn't exist. But we're going to take that trail out today, so we'll be able to cover ground way faster. We're going to get down into the open meadows, and then we're going to be walking along that canyon rim where it's about 3 straight miles of just walking along this canyon. There's just some of the best views in West Virginia are down there. So we're going to finish eating this morning. We're going to go ahead and pack everything up. I think we're going to go up to the top of Haystack Knob up here, which is going to have some really good views in and of itself, and try to find some water. Poor Sara here. Like I said, Roaring Plains is a wilderness, right? So we've walked through more stinging nettle and thorn bushes and stuff than I've ever seen in my life. And Sara's legs are a little bit chewed up. So apparently, guys, really good backpacking hack. So me and Brian obviously walked through the same thing as Sara did in shorts. And you know, we're fine. I've got a couple little like scrapes and stuff, but Brian's the same way. And apparently the hack is leg hair. I think is actually the difference. So ladies, hack, if you're ever going to a wilderness area where you know there's going to be sharp, pokey things, but it's also going to be hot, so you want to wear shorts, just go ahead, grow out your leg hair for the trip, you know, no big deal, and you'll have an extra layer of protection. All right, everybody, we are Oscar Mike for day 2. A little bit of fog up here, so looking forward to this burning off so we can see some views later today. But Haystack Knob's up in front of us here, and I think maybe we'll give that a go. Well, unfortunately, there's no point in climbing up Haystack Knob earlier today because it was super, I don't know if it was like cloudy, foggy, misty, whatever it was. So not really any views up there this morning. So we decided not to make the, you know, the big ascent with no view at the top. And we've been just walking down this access road, and now we're cutting back across onto the Roaring Plains Trail. I believe this is the only official trail out here. So anyways, we're going to be coming up on the canyon rim and see our views here. I heard that there was a couple back in the 90s, you know, back in the early days of, you know, GPS devices and stuff like that, that actually mapped out all of these trails. And there's like some bootleg, you know, maps running around and stuff like that. Some of them are on Gaia. I haven't looked at all trails, but you know, I would recommend bringing some sort of GPS tracker out here, guys, because in a lot of spots, I mean, it's pretty hard to decipher, you know, exactly where the trail is. And a lot of it's pretty tough terrain. So if you guys ever plan a trip out here, make sure you do your research. There is a Facebook group for the Roaring Plains Wilderness. Only has about 400 people in it, but there's a handful of guys and gals where if you're trying to plan a trip out here, you can ask them questions and they'll kind of point you in the right direction. For all the regular viewers, man, you guys will know this is about the least amount of recording I've done on a trip in a while, but it's just because of the, the terrain. You're either, on rocks, or you're bushwhacking and, dodging spider webs and all this stuff. Hasn't been horrible so far. I definitely like the eastern side of Roaring Plains better than the western side, for sure. First time I've been over here, and the eastern side's way better, but I don't hate it or anything. But I am looking forward to getting over here to the Canyon Rim Trail. It's the most beautiful part of this wilderness area over there. So I'm looking forward to that. But, we just, we're 24 hours on this trip and haven't recorded much. I mean, it took us 25 minutes to get like 3 or 4 liters of water just because the water sources are all dried up out here. And, we literally had the bag like flat up against a rock trying to collect water, and it'll take you, 5 minutes just to trickle in enough to get like a liter of water. So we've just been busy, hiking and surviving and everything else. I mean, last night we got into camp like after dark. So, it's a wilderness area, guys. I mean, it's not like, hiking, established trails in like a national park or even in a national forest. I mean, this right here, I'm sure you can kind of see behind me, this is the only established official trail out here. And even this thing's a mile and a half an hour, something like that, just because of the terrain. So just be prepared for that, guys, if you come out here. But it is a beautiful area, and I can't wait till you guys can see this canyon. Brian has hacked backpacking chairs. So for those of you that have the Chair Zeros, you'll know in this kind of like evergreen type forest with all this duff and everything like that, these chairs sink pretty bad. But Brian found a nice rock, and he's at a normal chair height. Like your knees and your hips. 90 degrees? Is everything yeah, his knees and his hips are at the same height. So I think I want to try to also do the same hack here. That might work. Oh yeah, I'm excited. All right, guys, well, glad to see that the trip has finally paid off after about 16 miles of slogging through the west side of Roaring Plains, which probably won't do again, but now I'm happy. A lot more of this to come. All right, guys, just to give you an idea, so right there is Haystack Knob. So we were on the other side of the canyon. We came all the way back up over this way. And now we're doing this rim of the canyon. Imagine how sweet of a view there'd have been up there. But like I said, it was, foggy this morning. We just couldn't, justify making that 400-foot climb to not be able to see anything. But man, if I ever do a return trip to the west side, which again, not going to commit myself to that, but I'd like to go up there and see that view for sure.
Here.
That's what I'm saying.
No flies.
So if you guys see those rocks there in the middle of the frame, that is Seneca rocks. It's really popular. It's like a little 1 mile day hike to get up to the top of that, and people also like rock climbing and stuff. But over here, so up there, that general ridgeline up there is North Fork Mountain, which we have also backpacked. It's like a 26 mile long or 26 mile long trail that goes along that ridgeline up there. So we've seen Seneca rocks from about every vantage point up in these mountains. We found our camp for the night, so as you can hear, the roaring plains is a-roaring. But I'll give you guys the grand camp tour since we missed it last night. So we got a little bit of protection back in here. It's really tight for 3 people, but over here, Brian's got his hammock set up over here. Oh, he's drying his socks the same way I was. He just got the Outdoor Vitals, the new pack that they released. Said he really likes it because he was carrying 6 liters of water and said that it was still going well with the water. But there's his hammock set up, and then over this way is my war bonnet Blackbird, 40-degree Wookie underquilt, and then my 40-degree Wookie top quilt, or Diamondback top quilt is up there, and I've got some socks drying as well. And then poor Sara kind of just had to fit in. As you can see, this is kind of like the end of the campsite here. There's not really, so she didn't get a great pitch, but I mean, it'll be fine though. And then, because she's laying on that insulated Nemo tensor, like that extra wide insulated Nemo tensor in there, and that thing's going to give her some nice cushion. And she has a 0-degree war bonnet top quilt in there. So as you guys can see, it's windy, but with you know, my bug net staked out and everything. I mean, the hammock's not really swaying like too much. So we'll be fine. You know, we didn't put up a tarp, me or Brian, either night of this trip, which is always a risk. You know, you should always put up a tarp, so don't, you know, don't follow my lead on that. I don't know, we got away with it last night, and yeah, it's windy, but I mean, it's like 60 degrees, and you know, it was windy last night, and you know, if you set up your hammock right, that wind shouldn't get in, you know, your underquilt. As you can see, Brian's is a full, like, burrito. Mine's like an ASIM, but he definitely won't be getting any wind in. I probably will, but like I said, as long as you have a good pitch, should be fine. We were thinking about putting Sara out here, but she would have been completely exposed to the wind out here, and this ground is hard. I don't even know that we'd have got stakes in there, so. But as you can see, roaring plains are a-roaring. Cool campsite up here. There's about 3 or 4 of them in this general area, so pretty good spot to camp up here. But yeah, we're gonna eat some food. I'm starving. All right, everybody, took some pictures of the stars and stuff because there's no light pollution out here in the wilderness, so I think it's about time to wrap it up. So we will see you guys in the morning.
Everyone I know has had problems with those. Like you had problems with the Sawyer bags.
Oh yeah.
See, I never even used the Sawyer bags. I just went right to that. Well, my buddy busted like 3 Sawyer bags on a trip to Colorado. He's like, never again. So he bought one of those because I had one of them. He went through 2 of them. And they both busted. I'm like, dude, how hard are you squeezing?
Well, that is probably, yeah.
Then I ended up watching Cocaine Bear. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
It's a perfect video for out here. Bear gets into cocaine, starts killing everyone.
Already packed up for the most part. Finished my coffee here, and I think we're gonna hit the trail here pretty shortly. I think only about 3.5 miles left, so it'll be a short day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the move for the final day. I think we got about 3 miles back to the car or something, so time to come down off the roaring plains and finish this thing up and get to the 5-hour drive back home. right, everybody, I think it's getting to be about that time, probably a mile away from the car, so you know what that means. I don't know how I feel about the video. You know, I didn't get as much footage as I wanted to, because I mean, we were hiking all day, both days. You know, had a bunch of bushwhacking, you know, a couple places we really had to figure out where we were going. And like I said, it is a wilderness area. So, I mean, we were focused on the hiking and getting the trip done. As you can tell, there's a whole bunch of really like narrow trails here, and a lot of them aren't trails. So, I mean, I couldn't even stick my arm out like this to you know, hold up the tripod to record or anything. But all that said, guys, you know, it's still beautiful out here. Don't think I would ever do the western half of the wilderness again. Just, I don't mind bushwhacking and stuff, and, you know, a little bit of misery, I guess, but there was no payoff. Now, if we would have been able to climb up to the top of Haystack Knob, you know, maybe the 16 miles of, you know, bushwhacking would have been worth it, but we don't know because we didn't get up there because it was foggy. So as of right now, I think I would just stick to the eastern side of Roaring Plains Wilderness, which is beautiful. As you can see, you get up on top of the plateau, there's all kinds of views up there, and that canyon rim just has some of the best views in West Virginia. But anyhow, guys, I'm doing a bunch of really cool stuff on my videos now. So, you know, I know a lot of people jump on YouTube to look for ideas to do trips. If you guys want to do the trip that I did, or use my trip to help you plan, go ahead and jump down to the link in the description box. That is going to have a link to my Google Drive where you can download the GPX file for this trip. First of all, though, if you guys like the video, make sure you slap a thumbs up on it and go ahead and subscribe. In addition to the GPX file, also down in the description box, I will have a link to my lighter pack list. If you guys want to see every single piece of gear that I carry, go ahead and click on that link to my lighter pack. And then finally, guys, you know, earlier this year, we did an annual backpacking trip to North Fork Mountain. So I'm going to do one next year for sure. Don't know where it's going to be yet, but if you guys are interested in, you know, potentially hiking with us and joining along for that trip, there's also a link to our Facebook group where we facilitate that. But as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and following along on the journey. Thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.